Why, in an age of unprecedented wealth and technological advancement, are billions of people still trapped in the grips of poverty? For decades, we've heard the promises. Global leaders, organizations, and charities have declared war on poverty. We've seen ambitious goals set, like the Millennium Development Goals and now the Sustainable Development Goals, aiming to eradicate extreme poverty. And to be fair, there has been progress. Hundreds of millions have been lifted out of the most severe forms of destitution. But let's be honest with ourselves. The job is far from finished. The finish line seems to be constantly moving further away. So, what's going on? Why is this problem so stubbornly persistent? It's not for a lack of resources. The world has enough wealth, food, and capability to ensure everyone has a decent standard of living. The problem isn't a lack of supply. It's a breakdown in the system. One of the biggest hurdles is systemic inequality. Think of it like a race where some people start 100 meters ahead with the best running shoes, while others start a mile behind, barefoot, and with weights on their ankles. Wealth and power are concentrated in the hands of a very small percentage of the global population. This massive gap creates a cycle that's incredibly difficult to break. The rich get richer, not just through hard work, but through systems that favor capital, things like investments, inheritance, and favorable tax laws. Meanwhile, those with little to no capital are stuck. They lack access to quality education, healthcare, and financial services that would allow them to build a better future for their families. Another major piece of this puzzle is conflict and instability. Look at regions plagued by war or political turmoil. Poverty is almost always rampant there. Conflict destroys infrastructure, schools, hospitals, roads, farms. It displaces millions of people, turning them into refugees with nothing but the clothes on their backs. It disrupts economies and makes it impossible for businesses to operate or for people to find stable work. When a nation's energy is consumed by survival and conflict, there's simply no room for development or progress. Peace and stability are the fundamental bedrock upon which prosperity is built. Without them, any efforts to reduce poverty are like trying to build a house on quicksand. Then there's the environmental factor, which is becoming more critical every single day. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it's a massive driver of poverty. Who is most affected by droughts, floods, and extreme weather? It's the small-scale farmers in developing nations whose livelihoods depend entirely on a stable climate. When a drought wipes out a harvest, a family doesn't just lose food for that season. They lose their income, their seeds for the next planting, and their ability to stay afloat. Climate change is a threat multiplier. It takes existing vulnerabilities and makes them exponentially worse, pushing millions back into poverty or deeper into it. And we can't ignore the role of policy, both locally and globally. Sometimes, well-intentioned aid can have unintended consequences. For example, flooding a local market with free goods can put local farmers and producers out of business, creating a long-term dependency on aid rather than fostering self-sufficiency. Furthermore, unfair trade rules often put developing countries at a significant disadvantage. They are forced to compete on a global stage where the rules have been written by and for the most powerful economies. This makes it incredibly difficult for them to build robust, diversified economies of their own. So, where does this leave us? It can feel overwhelming, like the problem is too big, too complex to solve. But despair is not a strategy. The first step is awareness and understanding. We have to move beyond simplistic narratives and recognize that poverty is a complex web of interconnected issues. It's not just about giving money. It's about fixing broken systems. This means advocating for fairer economic policies, both at home and abroad. It means demanding stronger action on climate change to protect the most vulnerable. It means supporting organizations that focus on sustainable, long-term development. Things like empowering women and girls through education, investing in local entrepreneurs, and promoting peace-building initiatives. Education is perhaps the single most powerful tool we have. When a child, especially a girl, gets a quality education, it doesn't just change her life. It can uplift her entire community for generations to come. An educated population is healthier, more innovative, and better equipped to participate in the global economy and advocate for its rights. This isn't about charity in the old-fashioned sense. It's about justice. It's about recognizing that the lottery of birth shouldn't determine whether a person has the right to food, shelter, education, and a life of dignity. The failure to end poverty is a collective failure, and therefore, the solution must also be collective. It requires us, as global citizens, to stay informed, to use our voices, and to support leaders and policies that prioritize a more equitable and sustainable world. The path forward is difficult, but it is not impossible. Every single effort, no matter how small it seems, contributes to a larger movement. By understanding the root causes, we can start to push for real, lasting change. It's a long road, but one we must travel together. Thank you so much for watching and for engaging with this important topic. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might also find it valuable. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dive videos on humanity. Until next time, take care.